give, you show up, you answer every call, respond to every message, never let a single request go unanswered. You tell yourself it's kindness, maybe even strength, but deep down there's a quiet ache, a sense that something's off, because no matter how much you offer, it never feels like enough. And here's the truth that's hard to swallow. The more accessible you are, the more invisible you become. It's not because people are cruel, it's because human nature is wired to value what is scarce. We chase what requires effort. We admire what sets boundaries. When you're always there, when your time is always on tap, it stops feeling like a gift and starts feeling like an expectation. You become background noise, familiar and overlooked, no matter how well-meaning your intentions were. And little by little, without even noticing, you start giving away pieces of yourself. Not loudly, not dramatically, but in tiny, quiet ways. A yes you didn't mean, a favor that drained you, a phone call that left you feeling smaller than before. And the worst part, you start teaching people how to treat you. You show them your time is up for grabs, that your presence doesn't need to be earned, that you'll keep giving, even when it hurts. And they believe you, not because they're unkind, but because you never showed them otherwise. But this isn't generosity, it's self-abandonment dressed in politeness. And the more you do it, the more you disappear in your own life. Respect doesn't grow from availability, it grows from discernment, from knowing when to show up and when to hold back, when to speak and when to be silent. It's not about playing games, it's about reclaiming your worth. Because if you're always adjusting, always bending, always shrinking to make others comfortable, then whose life are you really living? It's tempting to believe that constant availability means love, connection, value. But sometimes it's fear. Fear of not being needed, fear of rejection, fear that if you say no, you'll be forgotten. But those fears lie, because real connection doesn't require self-erasure, it requires presence. And presence isn't measured by how often you're around. It's measured by how whole you are when you show up. And when you stop being available out of fear, something powerful happens. People notice your absence. They begin to realize your presence was never owed. It was a gift. Some will fade. Let them. Some will rise to meet you with the same respect you've begun to show yourself. Keep them, because not everyone deserves access to you, especially not constantly and especially not freely. You're not a lifeline for every passing need. You're a person with purpose, depth, value. And when you start honoring that, you begin to live differently. You pause before saying yes. You question whether that call deserves your energy. You protect your time like it matters, because it does. You move from fear to clarity, from people-pleasing to self-respect. Yes, it's uncomfortable. Yes, some people will push back, not because they hate you, but because they got used to a version of you that no longer exists. But don't go back. Don't shrink again just to make things easier. You weren't born to live on call. You were born to live on purpose. And purpose doesn't answer every knock at the door. So next time you feel that tug to reply right away, to fix someone's problem, to sacrifice your peace, pause. Ask yourself who's really in charge of your life right now. Because the cost of constant availability isn't just your time. It's your power, your presence, your agency. You are not here to be everything for everyone. You are here to be true to yourself. And the moment you understand that, really understand it, you stop reacting to life and you start shaping it. The people who truly matter to you, the ones who truly value you, won't just respect your boundaries. They'll admire your self-control. Stop apologizing for needing space. Stop rushing to reply to every message or call. Start living life on your own terms. Because when you stop being constantly available, you stop merely being present and you start truly being there. And that shift, it makes all the difference. When you make that change, when you stop being at everyone's beck and call, something fascinating happens. People start revealing who they really are. It's almost like the act of withdrawing exposes something underneath the surface. Until then, your availability may have been a mask, but not for you. It was for them. As long as you were always easy to reach, always ready to please, always dependable, others never had to show their true character. They only needed to enjoy your compliance. But the moment you step back, even just a little, things start to shift. And that's when you learn something important. People will either step up or step out. Those who truly respect you, those who value you for who you are, not just for what you give, will respond to your new boundaries not with resentment, but with maturity. They'll start to think about your time, your energy, your well-being. And that's not a loss, that's growth. That's when your relationships evolve from convenience to something deeper. But not everyone will understand that shift. Some people might pull away, some will resist, others might even become passive-aggressive or manipulative. Why? Because you've disrupted the pattern. You were always there, always available, always saying yes. You never asked for much. And now you're changing the game. For those who benefited from your constant presence, this change is inconvenient. For those who relied on you, it's threatening. And this is where discernment becomes crucial. The value of stepping back, of becoming less available, isn't just about protecting your time. It's about uncovering the truth of your relationships. It's about learning who's really there for you, not just what you can provide for them. And that clarity is essential. We all teach people how to treat us. It's not just something we say, it's deeply ingrained in our behavior. Every time you say yes to something that drains you, every time you respond to someone who gives little in return, every time you prioritize someone else's comfort over your own peace, you're teaching them that your presence is free. And when something costs nothing, it gets treated like it's worth nothing. But when you stop being so available, when you start setting boundaries, you create a new dynamic. You're not playing games or manipulating anyone. You're simply reflecting the value of your time, your energy, your presence. And those who truly see your worth will rise to meet you. They'll communicate more clearly. They'll respect your boundaries. They'll adjust. And those who don't, well, maybe it's time for them to step out of your life. This isn't about superiority. It's about honesty. You cannot build meaningful relationships or a meaningful life by constantly lowering your standards just to stay in someone's orbit. You can't keep lighting other people's paths while yours remains in darkness. So if you really want to know who belongs in your life, try stepping back. Watch who reaches out. It's not their words or their promises that matter, it's their reaction. That will tell you everything you need to know. There's something deeply ironic about human nature. We often don't appreciate something until it's gone, or at least until it's no longer easily within reach. And this goes beyond just physical presence. It applies to emotional and psychological availability as well. When you're always there, always responsive, always ready to meet someone else's needs, they start to take your presence for granted, not out of malice, but out of habit. Familiarity can breed comfort, but it can also breed complacency. Think about it this way. We're wired to pay attention to what's scarce. We're drawn to what's uncertain, to what takes effort, to what demands our attention. It's not about manipulation. It's basic human psychology. When something comes too easily, we often don't value it as much. But when it requires effort, patience, or timing, we instinctively recognize its worth. So when you stop being so available, when you start setting healthy boundaries, it's not about playing a game. It's about introducing value into the equation. In relationships where you've always been the giver, the emotional caretaker, the fixer, the one who absorbs tension and keeps everything running, stepping back even for a moment forces a shift. It makes others reassess not just their reliance on you, but their appreciation of you. And yes, that can feel uncomfortable for both you and them. But discomfort is often the doorway to greater understanding. Here's the heart of the matter. When you constantly overextend yourself, you create an illusion of endless capacity. People start to believe that you'll always be there, that you'll always pick up, always adjust, always make room. But when you start protecting your time and energy with discipline, you reveal a new truth. Your presence isn't a given, it's a choice. And just like any choice, it can be taken away. That shift in dynamic, it changes everything. There's a shift that happens when you stop allowing others to take you for granted. It's not about playing games or trying to manipulate the situation. It's about standing firm in who you are and what you deserve. When you stop giving away your attention on demand, it becomes more valuable. People begin to notice the space you create, the pause between your words, and they start to respect it. This is not about punishing anyone. It's about preserving your energy, setting boundaries, and ensuring that the relationships you nurture are rooted in respect, not convenience. When you pull back, the silence works for you. It's not guilt or coldness, it's strength. You aren't responsible for managing the comfort of others. You're responsible for protecting your own worth. Every time you choose not to respond immediately, not to be constantly available, you communicate something far more powerful than any words can express. You matter. Your time matters. You are not here to be at the beck and call of anyone who demands your attention. In a world that thrives on constant noise, it's the moments of quiet that give us clarity. Silence isn't empty. It's full of meaning. It's the space that allows us to reflect, to grow, to dig deeper into what really matters. When you stop filling every second with noise, that's when the real work begins. You start to process, to question, to reframe everything around you. The truth is, when you're always there, always answering, always present, people stop appreciating it. They stop questioning why you're there, what you represent, or what role you play. But when you step back, when you give them space to miss you, the questions start. And so do the answers. Why do they miss you? What did they take for granted? What do they value about you? This space is where you reclaim your power. You begin to see where your energy has been leaking, where you've given too much, and where you've neglected your own needs. That's when the shift happens. That's when you take back control of your life. The real courage lies in refusing to be constantly available. It's the courage to step back and say, "This is my time. This is my life. I will not scatter myself to the wind." And in doing so, you send a powerful message, not just to the world, but to yourself. Some will misinterpret your absence. They'll call you selfish, distant, or cold. But those judgments often come from the people who benefited most from your lack of boundaries. That's not your problem to solve. Your responsibility is to remain clear and consistent in who you are, in the life you want to live. Let the silence speak for you. Let the absence do its work. Choosing to step away from constant availability isn't about withdrawing. It's about recalibrating. It's about becoming more intentional. It's about redefining the way you spend your time. And when you stop giving your energy away to every distraction and every fleeting demand, something incredible happens. You start to realize the depth of your own self-respect. When you allow yourself the space to not be constantly accessible, you stop signaling to the world that your life is up for grabs. You stop sending the message that you can be interrupted at any time for any reason. You start to place yourself at the center of your life, grounded, focused, and intentional. Your life has a direction, and that direction is yours to determine. People begin to notice this shift. It's not about being louder or more forceful, but about being anchored. In a world that demands constant engagement, being anchored is rare, and rare things are valuable. When you show respect for your own time, others will follow suit. Your boundaries will be respected, your conversations will be more intentional, and the energy exchanges around you will become more balanced, more meaningful. This is where true transformation begins. It starts with self-respect, and that respect flows into every part of your life. It shapes who you spend your time with, what you tolerate, and how you show up in the world. By choosing to make yourself less available to the noise, you create space to be more available to what truly matters, to the work, to the relationships, to the vision you are building. This isn't about becoming indifferent or distant. It's about reclaiming your time as a reflection of who you are and what you stand for. Your life is your message. Every moment you give away carelessly weakens that message. But every boundary you set, every moment you guard, strengthens it. This is the life you get to choose, strong, clear, and undeniable. Let that be your choice.